Well, hello there, and welcome to Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church, or BBUUC. My name is Alyssa Halliday, and I will be your official worship leader for our special service today, where we honor our upcoming holiday, Thanksgiving. But as you will come to see, this service is a true collaboration from your wonderful worship team. We will really be leaning into our spiritual theme for the month of November, nurturing gratitude. As we settle into the spiritual idea of nurturing gratitude, please hear the words of Reverend Michelle Collin. We arrive carrying the familiar ache of not enough. Not enough time, not enough rest, not enough certainty about what comes next. But here, in the space between one breath and another, something small and persistent whispers, "You are held." We come from days that felt too ordinary to notice, commutes and meetings, dishes and deadlines, the unremarkable hours that make up most of living. But buried in the mundane lie small miracles we walk past without seeing. Some of us learned to count blessings on our fingers, others to whisper thanks to ancestors, or earth, or sky. We carry different languages of gratitude, different ways of recognizing what sustains us. All of them are welcome here. Come, let our worship begin. What beautiful words to let sink in. As we honor the different languages of gratitude, there is much to be thankful for. Our opening hymn is an invitation to take this into consideration. I'd like to invite the song leaders up to help lead us in hymn number 68, "Come Ye Thankful People," which can be found in the gray hymnal or follow along on the screen. I invite you to stand in body or spirit and join in singing. We are certainly nurturing gratitude when we sing a hymn honoring a bountiful harvest and Thanksgiving. Let's continue to hold this space of gratitude as we light our chalice this morning. I'd like to invite my wonderful husband, who I'm very grateful for to have in my life, Nick Rasiopo, up to the front to do the honor of lighting our chalice as we listen to the words of Katie Savani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude, as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Thank you, Nick. Each week, we read together our congregational covenant, which defines our promise of community with one another, especially as we are nurturing gratitude. You can find our covenant printed in your order of service as well as on the screen, and I invite you to speak the words aloud together in unison. Please join me. We covenant to engage one another with honesty, kindness, and respect, to value diversity, seek understanding of our differences, and practice gracious accountability with care, love, and empathy. We make these promises to those who are here and those yet to come, so that we may be a safe, welcoming, and beloved community of acceptance, learning, and transformation. Please rise and body your spirit and join in singing our call to worship. The words are printed in your order of service as well as projected on the screen. I'd like to extend an official good morning and welcome to our church, a community where we strive to create a sense of belonging for all. I fell in love with this church over 8 years ago. BBUUC is truly a church for all. No matter how you identify or what spiritual path you follow, you are welcome here. We believe everyone has the right to question, to wonder, and to seek their own truths. And I am grateful that you have chosen to spend part of your day here with us. As mentioned earlier this month, our spiritual theme is nurturing gratitude. As Unitarian Universalists, we understand gratitude not just as something we feel, but as something we grow. It's a practice that deepens as we notice the small gifts of daily life, the presence of community, and the ways we support and uplift one another. Each time we gather in joy, in curiosity, or in struggle, we have an opportunity to nurture gratitude within ourselves and among each other. You can find our shared values printed on the back of your order of service. I'd like to offer a special welcome to any guests or newcomers who are joining us today. If this is your first time here, we are so glad you came. May you find within this space warmth, openness, and a community ready to meet you where you are. If you'd like to learn more about Unitarian Universalism or about BBUUC, please stop by the welcome table near the entryway after the service. There you'll find information about our community, our ministries, and our year-round Learn About UU and Learn About BBUUC classes. And as always, We invite you to join us after the service for coffee, snacks, and conversation at the back of the sanctuary. A simple and joyful way to connect and perhaps to nurture a bit of gratitude together in community. You are also invited to come discuss the results of our congregational survey with Don DeStefano in the Olympia Brown Room at 11:50 today after the service. Introducing Vision Quest, time to start thinking about our future. Also, please make sure Monday, December 1st is on your calendar. We will be hosting the Northeast Florida World AIDS Day Interfaith Memorial Service on Monday evening, December 1st, from 7 p.m. until 8:30 p.m., right here in our sanctuary. See Cindy Jorgensen if you would like to help by bringing refreshments. And our annual Jingle Mingle will be held on Saturday, December 13th at 5:30 p.m. Sign-ups for this holiday potluck will be available online this week. Check your email. As always, peruse your order of service, our monthly newsletter, our weekly emails, and the bulletin boards for information on our community's many activities and events. I'd like to invite our Director of Lifespan Religious Education, Beth Curtis, up for our Time for All Ages.
Thank you, Alyssa. Good morning. Okay, so somehow my reading glasses went elsewhere, so we're going to struggle through this, though. Oh, excuse me. Okay, so Velcro in my life would actually be very handy. I could just Velcro things to myself. They never disappear. Thank you, Penny. I invite us into a moment of wonder because gratitude begins when we notice the gifts around us. The shade of a tree, the wind, making the air dance, the creatures who share our world, the comfort of standing in a place that has witnessed generations before us. This morning I'll be reading Thank You, Old Oak, written by Britt Crow Miller and illustrated by Amy Schimler Safford. It reminds us that nature is part of our big family, and gratitude helps us see its gifts. So we start. The morning old oak fell was ordinary. The early spring air was cool with memories of snow, and the sky brightened bit by bit as the sun began to rise. All was silent except for the flapping of a single owl straggling home, belly full and ready for sleep. Old Oak had grown slowly and steadily for more than 400 years. Each spring, her limbs held a new crown of leaves. Each autumn, she drops thousands of acorns to the earth. But Old Oak was tired, and this year her sap, like blood in her veins, would not rise again. Just as Owl settled into his hole, there came a pop from deep within Old Oak's trunk. The ancient tree leaned to one side. And then in a frenzy of snaps and a flurry of movement, her mighty stem ripped free from the soil and fell heavily to rest on the forest floor. Just like that, Old Oak's rooted life came to an end. The first to gather were the squirrels. Dozens scampered over to their fallen friend, bushy tails held high. Together they yipped and jumped, offering thanks for the acorns, the leaf buds, and the catkins old oak had fed their families for so long. They thanked her for holding their nests and giving them shelter. An eclipse of moths emerged from thousands of bark-covered crevices in old oak's branches. Butterflies flitted and fluttered through the air in gratitude, a living kaleidoscope. Like the squirrels, old oak had been their home too. The rabbits arrived next. As the mother of the forest, old oak had always been generous in sharing twigs and stems for them to munch. And underground, her masterpiece of roots hugged the rabbits' burrows snugly in place, and for that they were grateful. In this image, we are seeing in the ground the bunnies nestled in their burrows amongst old oak's roots. As the sun rose higher in the sky, the possum, deer, and black bear families made their way to the gathering. Then all at once the forest floor began to tremble as scores of acorn weevils dug their way to daylight. They'd come to thank their friend whose fruit had housed and fed them as tiny grubs. When the ground settled, the wild turkeys made their entrance. A chorus of throaty gobbles echoed up into the air in celebration of old oak's bitter, cup-cradled seeds and their tasty insects and berries that thrived in her shade. Every branch in the forest was crowded with noisy nuthatches, blue jays, and thrushes, each crooning a call of gratitude, creating a symphony of crowing, whistling, and lively trills. Even with her root tap severed, old oak would bring new life to the forest. Nearby trees would grow stronger with her minerals and wiser with her memories. The foxes would have a lovely den in her downed trunk, just in time for the birth of their kits. The stag beetles and woodlice would soon feast on her trunk, and then spring rains came. Old oak's softened logs would nurse the growth of young ferns and mosses. As the morning clouds cleared and the animals moved on, magnificent sunshine filled the round patch of earth that was once shaded by old oak's leaves. Now, months earlier, the animals of the forest had planted her legacy in the soil. Now, healthy oak seedlings were beginning to grow. Owl flew off to find a new hole, his bedtime now long past. Soaring through the forest, he squinted against the day, while down below, the young oaks soaked in the sunlight, growing slowly and steadily, just as old oak had done before. This story is such a tender reminder of what it means to belong to the circle of life. The old oak teaches us that gratitude begins when we pause and truly notice the gifts around us. It shows us that each life, no matter how small or great, gives something to the world, and each of us has something to give back. In the spirit of this gratitude, many of us brought an item from nature today that was meaningful to us. I now invite our children to go to the back tables. Y'all can stand up and go to the back tables where you'll find baskets and loose items. And actually, many of our kids are out washing cars. So y'all can grab as many baskets as you want. Okay, and you're going to bring them forward and just place them around our harvest table. Now each item, each pine cone, acorn, shell, or leaf is a quiet promise. A promise of attention, gratitude, and of our care for the earth and all its miracles. You can also put them on the steps in front of the table. Great. Good work, you guys. And as we place these gifts before us, let us remind ourselves to live each day with the same gratitude, gentleness, and wonder that the old oak inspired. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Diane. That was beautiful. As we continue nurturing gratitude, which invites us to notice the abundance that surrounds us in our daily lives, the people who support us, the communities that hold us, and the places where we find meaning, comfort, and connection. Our offering this morning is one way we give thanks for all that we receive here in this beloved community. When we give, whether it is a little or a lot, we are helping to sustain this space of welcome, compassion, and spiritual growth. and we are saying yes to the work we do together, both within these walls and in the wider world. You can find giving envelopes in the hymnals, or use the QR code in your order of service, or visit the donate link on our website, bbuuc.org. Whether you choose to donate at this time or not, we invite everyone to take part in this ritual by passing the plate down your row and back again. A simple gesture that symbolizes the shared responsibility and the shared gratitude that binds us together. Once the offering is complete, please rise in body or in spirit as we sing our offertory hymn number 123, Spirit of Life. I'd like to invite our ushers for today, Jessica Cuneo and Marilyn Jones, to come forward to accept the offering. The morning offering will be gratefully received. Today, we are celebrating Thanksgiving in a very special way. We'll listen to a beautiful prayer that thanks everything in the world, the people, the animals, the plants, even the stars. We'll share some bread together to remind us how connected we all are. And we'll hear a story about people who learned how to live in peace. All of this helps us think about two big things: giving thanks, and giving back. And with that, I will turn it over to Donna Zimmerman and Elizabeth DeCoux.
In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Indigenous author, poet, and botanist Robin Wall Kimmerer shares how children at the Onondaga Nation School in upstate New York begin and end each week with this Thanksgiving address, also known as the words that come before all else. The Thanksgiving Address is a Native American prayer created and practiced by the Haudenosaunee Nation that gives thanks to everything: people, plants, water, animals, sun, moon, stars. It's about connection, saying that all living things matter and deserve our thanks. And the Haudenosaunee Nation wishes to share this address or prayer with the world. It includes a response from the congregation. So we'll be enjoying your participation this morning. Your words are always the same. They are, now our minds are one, which does not mean we cannot think independently. It's more about a shared understanding. And it's a fairly lengthy reading. And so when it's your time to say, now our minds are one, we'll gesture for you to know that it's your time. The words will also be printed, your words, and the words that come right before them will be printed in your order of service and on the screen. But that's just a short part of the reading. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people.
We are all thankful to our Mother, the Earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our Mother, we send our greetings and thanks.
We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its powers in many forms: waterfalls, rain, mists, and streams, rivers, and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. Now our minds are one.
We turn our minds to all the fish that live in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we in turn now turn to the fish and send our greetings and thanks.
Now we turn to the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, We give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come.
Now our minds are one. With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them too. We gather all the plant foods together as one and send them a greeting of our thanks.
Now we turn to the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so that we may use their bodies as food for our people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forest. We are glad they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now our minds are one.
We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions and uses. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree of life. Now our minds are one.
We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle was chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one.
We are thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds.
Now our minds are one. Now we turn to the west where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, live. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the waters that renew life. We are thankful that they keep those evil things made by oak-wisers underground. We bring our minds together as one to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the Thunderers. Now our minds are one.
We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one.
We put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of the ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one.
We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bringing dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. Now our minds are one.
We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget how to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one.
Now we turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is around us, we gather our minds together as one and send our choicest words of greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one.
We have now arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one. What a reminder how much we have to be thankful for. Now I would like to invite Jacquie Hochstin to come up and lead us in our bread communion. Jacquie?
In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer, a member of the Potawatomi Nation and a botanist, talks about seeing the bounty of the earth as gifts we are meant to appreciate and to share, not to exploit and not to hoard. She asks, how can we come to understand the earth as a gift, the world as sacred? She longs for that world. So do I. This morning we will share the gift of bread in a communion service. When we share food together in a church service, we often call it communion. Today we'll be sharing vegan and gluten-free cranberry orange bread for our communion, so that more of us can participate. It's not just a snack. Sharing this bread is a way to remember that food is a gift from Mother Earth, and from all the people and living things who help bring it to our tables. When we eat together with thanks in our hearts, we remember that we are connected to the earth, to one another, and to all that gives us life. When you receive your bread, please do not eat it right away. We're going to do a little meditation and prayer first. So I will call Beth and the children up now to pass out the bread from the baskets in the front of the sanctuary. Let's take a moment to bless this bread with our attention and thanks. First, I invite you to look at it closely, noticing the colors. Then touch it. How does it feel in your fingers? And finally, bring it to your nose and smell it. Breathe in its fragrance. And now let us pray. Earth Mother, we thank you for this good gift. We thank you for the people who grew and transported its ingredients, all the people involved in preparing it for us. We ask that you bless us with gratitude for all that it represents. Amen. I now invite you mindfully to eat your bread.
As we've shared our cranberry bread in gratitude, we remember that giving thanks isn't just about the gifts we receive. True thanks inspires us to act with kindness, fairness, and cooperation toward one another. It's about living together in peace and harmony. Long ago, some nations in the same land we now call New York were fighting. But a man named Peacemaker and his friend Hiawatha helped them find a way to live together in peace. They made a great promise to talk things out instead of fighting, kind of like the way we try to make fair rules and listen to each other here at church. This is their story. As we've said long ago, there were 5 nations who were often at war with one another. In one of the wars, the wife and daughters of a man named Hiawatha were killed by a great warlord and sorcerer known as Haudenosaunee. Hiawatha was very sad. He walked along a lake crying when he found some white shells used to make wampum, which are beads that carried messages and told stories. He used the purity of the shells to help clear his mind, his throat, his heart, creating a ritual that came to be known as the condolence ceremony, still practiced today. One day, Hiawatha met a man named Peacemaker who came from another tribe, probably in what is now called Canada. Hiawatha meets the Peacemaker with his mind clear and becomes a follower of the Peacemaker. They start going around to the tribes to try to create peace. One by one, they unite 4 of the tribes into one longhouse, which is more than just a physical structure. It is also a place of council, like our halls of Congress. A longhouse is also a style of governance, a place where people gather to make decisions together. One tribe, the Onondaga, led by the warlord and sorcerer Haudenosaunee, the same man who killed Hiawatha's wife and daughters, would not join. Hiawatha and the Peacemaker could not convince him on their own, so they found a powerful ally in a woman named Jacquie, the first clan mother. Hiawatha and the Peacemaker make a deal with her. If she can stop the war, she can choose the chiefs who will lead all the nations of the Confederacy. Jacquie goes to Haudenosaunee, and they perform a ritual to clear and soothe his mind enough that he chooses peace instead of war. Then she does a risky thing. She chooses Haudenosaunee to be the chief of chiefs. But it works. By the shores of Lake Onondaga, representatives from each of the 5 tribes gather. Each representative brings wampum. The Peacemaker weaves these individual strands of beads together into one belt known as the Hiawatha Belt. The belt tells the story and stands for the peace agreement amongst the nations that the French called the Iroquois Confederacy, but which the tribes Haudenosaunee Confederacy, a name that means people of the Longhouse. The very people who created the Thanksgiving Address we used earlier. On the shores of Lake Onondaga, during the solar eclipse, the representatives of the tribes gather under the Tree of Peace, represented at the center of the belt. There, Haudenosaunee speaks the law of peace for the first time. We declare hostilities shall end between the 5 nations, and we shall live as a united people. Together, they carefully uproot the tree, and into the hole they cast all their weapons of war. Then they replant the tree, which flourishes. Through this ceremony, the 5 tribes started the peace and created the first democracy in North America. It is called a confederacy, a group of nations working together to make decisions for everyone, kind of like how the United States work together, how the states work together in the United States. This democracy has 3 branches of government: the Chief of Chiefs, who is like the U.S. President, the Council of 5 Nations, later 6, which is like our Congress, and the Clan Mothers, who choose and can remove the chiefs, which is like our Supreme Court. Many years later, both George Washington and Benjamin Franklin said the United States Constitution was modeled on the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, which started hundreds of years earlier. Theirs was the first democracy in North America, the longest continuous democracy in the world. The Hiawatha Belt is featured on their democracy flag. In addition to all the other gifts the Native Americans may have, and many tribes and nations gave the world and to our country, food, medicine, and crops like cotton and tobacco, they also showed us democracy. It is amazing when you look at it how much the world has benefited from the work and leadership of the Native Americans, especially when you consider the poverty in which most Native American communities exist. How can non-Native people give back? Well, we can join them in defending our democracy, which is under threat right now. All people can support voting rights for Black, First Nations people, and people of color who are under threat in several places in our nation. We here at this church can join groups like UU The Vote, which joins with the Center of Common Ground and has worked very effectively to increase voter turnout in Black, First Nations people and communities of color. One thing we can do to honor the legacy of Native Americans is to support democracy. Non-Native Americans can push for the United States to honor the treaties it has made over the centuries and to recognize the independence of Native people. Non-Natives can support land-back movements that seek to return public lands to Native people who were such good stewards for centuries before Europeans set foot on these shores. Another thing non-Natives can do in general is to follow the lead of Native peoples as they work for their own rights and to restore the land. We can make our minds as one with theirs in seeing the earth and all its natural wonders as gifts and treating them as such. Honoring the gifts of our mother, not taking too much, not wasting what we have, living in balance with the earth. We can support Native Americans, indigenous peoples, by truly giving thanks and seeing plants, animals, and natural elements as kin and as family, and with the respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, may we give back. The Reverend Tess Baumberger.
Thank you, Kris. As we nurture gratitude for the interdependent web of all existence, I'd like to invite our song leaders back up to lead us in our closing hymn titled, We Sing Now Together, number 67 in the gray hymnal, and the words will also be up on the screen. We will be singing all 4 verses, and I invite you to stand in body or spirit. Please remain standing for the benediction. I'd like to invite Nick back up, please, to extinguish the chalice as we listen to the words of Charles A. Howe. May we go forth from this place, thankful for the life that sustains and renews us, and open to the grace that surrounds us and surprises us. May we go forth from this place with openness and with thanksgiving. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you.